everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Hearing Week. There's only 2 more videos. I can't believe it. Let me know if you like this. Maybe I'll do another one later down the road. Today we're talking about dating. Oh my gosh, I get questions about this all the time. First of all, it's a juicy question. Second of all, like, people are curious about it. I think it's the more like private side of someone's life, so even if they have gone through struggles because of their disability, they don't really tend to share it because it's more of a private thing. I'm here for you. I'm gonna give you tips. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get started. So first of all, how do people even meet other people nowadays? Like, it is literally like impossible to meet people in person unless you're someone like me who gets to actually go to school and you can meet people that way, but that's just not really the case for a lot of people. Like, where you can meet someone at work, I don't know. Life is pretty much on hold nowadays, but if I'm being completely honest, everybody meets each other on the internet nowadays. We have these great apps such as Tinder, Grindr, I don't even know, Bumble. Oh my gosh, I don't like Bumble, but we have Bumble. People use Bumble, and that's how people meet each other nowadays. So meeting people and connecting is already just like so weird, and like that's not really a struggle that relates to hearing loss because you're communicating to these people through apps and through chatting, so that's a whole nother debacle. But once you actually like get to meet the person, that's where I come in, and it can be really hard. It can be mentally exhausting, and you can just want to like give up and walk away and go home and watch Netflix and sleep, and that sounds like a much better idea sometimes just because it gets so frustrating. But there are things you can do that will make everything just so much better. This first tip is the most important one, and I mentioned it in my video a couple days ago when I talked about relationships, and that is putting yourself in situations that set you up for success. What I mean is, don't go to the bar for your first date. That's literally the word. Oh my gosh, don't go to a party or a club or whatever the heck. Go somewhere quiet where you can actually hear the other person. You can't really make much of an impression if you can't actually have a conversation, and having a regular conversation is just hard enough in general. If you put yourself in situations where it makes it 10 times harder, it's just gonna be a mess. So just put yourself in that situation, and I wouldn't really recommend telling the person about your situation or your disability before you actually get to meet them. But if they ask you, like on Tinder or something, why you want to go to a coffee shop instead of a bar, let them know, and they should be fine with that. If they like unmatch you, whatever, then move on. Not that big of a deal. And the plus side of setting yourself up in these situations that are quieter, it just leads to better conversation. If it's awkward, just make up an excuse and leave. But like, if it goes well, then you're just in a better environment, and then things can progress so much quicker. My second tip is to be open with your hearing loss. What I mean by that is that it's probably going to come up really quickly, especially since you're just talking one-on-one to this person. And I know for me, I would be like, what did you say? Can you repeat that a million times? And that's okay. You should do that too. Do not smile and nod and pretend like you know what the other person is saying, because that's a recipe for disaster, so don't do that. But be open about it, because they're probably going to ask you about it, and just let it out in the open, and that's that. And they should be more aware of it and talk louder, deeper, whatever it is that you may need. Like, let them know that, and things will go so much better. Don't try to hide it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, they're not going to like me. If they know, well, if they're not going to like you, if they know, then it's just, what are you doing? So just be open about it. It might seem really hard, but just let it out there and see what happens. A lot of people get really nervous on first dates, which is totally understandable. I get it. But if you don't understand someone, like, literally let them know. Please let them know. Because you want to be able to have a conversation with them that's actually like meaningful, and learn about them, and they want to learn about you. So it's not being very effective and productive if you don't let them know. When I was doing research for this video, I wanted to see like what other websites and stuff were saying, pretty much on par with what I had in my notes, so I feel good about that. But something that I read that was very funny to me is that when I search like tips for dating with hearing loss, like one of the top things that show up is do not fall for somebody just because they pay attention to you. So basically, don't fall for people that are nice. I think this is funny because it kind of proves that there are a lot of assholes in the world, and there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, like, screw it. Like, if you ask me to repeat myself more than once, then this is just not gonna work. If somebody doesn't do that, like, don't make that be the only reason why you want to go out with them more. Have high standards. I thought that was kind of funny, and I'm gonna put it in because I think it is really true. Just be confident in who you are, that you're an amazing person, and you also deserve an amazing person. So don't settle for less just because the person is nice. And don't get discouraged if you get to the location and it's super loud and you can't understand anything. Literally ask them to like get your stuff to go, have it outside, move to a separate environment that's way easier for you, because they should understand. They don't want to be talking to someone that can't understand them. So just make sure that you know that it's okay to go somewhere else, even if you get to the place and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. But everything else is basically normal things. Like, make sure you make eye contact, be yourself, be confident, which are probably the 3 most hardest things about this. But honestly, just be yourself. Think about your best friend and how you would talk to them, and just apply that to this, because it's really just not that much different. And once things progress, you kind of take it from there, and it's so much easier and better. But it's just not going to be if you're not open about the fact that you have a hearing loss in the first place. And that's the point of these videos, guys, is that there's lots of things that you can do to help you, but it's really just not that big of a deal. Your disability should not hinder you with that much from living life. And it's the same thing with like not having an arm or losing a leg or like any other disability, is that there's ways to work around it. And one of my favorite documentary series on Netflix is, I think it's Dating on the Spectrum, and it follows a bunch of people in Australia with autism, and they're in different parts of the spectrum, and they're learning to date, and they're going out on dates. And I just think it's really heartwarming, and just, it's an interesting documentary, and I recommend it. But the point is that there's literally nothing that can stop you from doing whatever it is in life. You just gotta know yourself 100% and really, really well, so you know how to communicate what you need and stand up for yourself. And that's the most important thing. And yes, it is hard, but you got this. You can do this, and good luck. So that was it for this video. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed it, and let me know what you want to see next. Please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!